I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up in the UK. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you giving me some of your time. I'm here today to share with you some ideas and inspiration for your paper crafting projects. I try and do a weekly video, life permitting, because sometimes it gets in the way of crafting, wouldn't you agree? And I always try and keep it fairly simple and fairly short. I like to get just straight on with the crafting, but I'll also run through with you very briefly what I'm using. As a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I love Stampin' Up products, so I tend to mainly use those with a little bit of other stash mixed in as well. And what else do I need to tell you? If you like anything and you'd like to purchase something from me, please go to my website at createdtheottaway.co.uk and you can shop with me for Stampin' Up products there. That would really help me keep going as a demonstrator. So thank you very much. I'm trying to do some videos that show you how you can get the best value out of your craft stash, whether it's your new purchases or your older stuff that you've got stored up on your shelves like me. At the moment, fairly recently, we've had a new catalogue and there's so many good things in there, so I'm sort of concentrating on that. Today's make is going to use some of this beautiful paper, so it's part of the Countryside Inn suite. Really lovely paper, just can't see it in the catalogue, but it's blues, so lots of navies, boho blues, misty moonlight. It's just got the most gorgeous patterns on. So this has got some lovely little birds on it. There's ones with trees on that are lovely. It's really, really beautiful. And this one's got a really gorgeous fox on. So really lovely print. It feels like something you'd want to put on your bedroom wall or just frame actually. But they're all lovely. If I turn them over that way, you can see how they coordinate. Lots of navies in there. I'm a bit of a blue girl. I do like different blues and greens, but mainly blues. So I'm really loving that paper. We are also going to be using some of this. So this is the Timeless Arrangement set. So there's a really lovely stamp set that's got a double, two different fonts in it. So you've got, well actually three because that's the third one, but it's got some really nice sentiments that you can mix and match together. The other thing that I like is it's got sentiments that go that way rather than just horizontal, so that's really nice, and for the card that we're making today that really works well. And then you've got some lovely details. There's some gorgeous cards around, so go and have a look for them. This reminds me of wreaths. There's a lot of tiny details there that you can put on a wreath card if you're going to make one of those. I haven't made one of those for ages, so I might just do that with those. But it's a really lovely set and some tiny little details there as well. And the die set that goes with it is sort of a mixed bag. So it looks like this, okay? When you die cut, you get a couple of sprigs coming off another piece of paper. So if I show you this one, for instance, so that's what it looks like, and that's what the die looks like, and that's what it looks like in the flesh. And you're left with this panel, but that's perfect for tucking behind your sentiments. You can cut them into two pieces. It's really versatile, and there's quite a few different designs that are on there. Ones that look a bit flowery, ones that are more just sprigs. Really lovely bits and pieces going on there. And then the other thing you've got is these dies for your sentiments. So they come out, this one for instance comes out like this, and I love the stitching detail, but even more that it's got a little cross on it. Just really perfect. It's the details that make your cards look just that little bit special. So this is a really good value set, I think. You can use this for all sorts of cards, all times of the year. You definitely could use this at Christmas time. The sentiment dies are like this, and like in the card today, we're going to be layering it up like that. It's just really beautiful and just nice details. So what was that called on its own? So the dies on its own is just called Timeless Arrangement dies. I'm so glad that this year's Stampin' Up have called them the same thing, because it was quite stressful, wasn't it, trying to work out which dies went with which thing. So they are on page 67 for you to go and have a look. There's also loads of ideas there of how they've been used as well. So if you've got a catalogue, go and have a look. If you haven't got one, get in touch with a demonstrator near you and have a book bursting with ideas. You won't regret it, even if you just had the book and looked through it. So like I said, if you are in the UK and you see anything you like, please shop with me at createdtheottaway.co.uk. Enough chatter. So let's get crafting. This is the make today, okay? Really nice make. Looks beautiful from the outside because I have used this paper, which I didn't show you. Let me check what it's called, because I will tell you and then I'll be thinking about it all the way through, thinking I don't think that's what it was called. So it's called Masterfully Made. So it's really vibrant and bright, loads of different colours, but I've picked out the pretty peacock colour there and just teamed that together. I really love pretty peacock colour. I'm so glad that we have it in our stash. So from the outside you can see what I've done with the sprigs. I've cut them in half. You've got some at the top, some at the bottom. I've layered the sentiment as well, just on there. And then when you open it up, ta-da, there's a real wow on the inside. Okay, so I've just sort of called this a Concertina card. I've made similar ones before, just using the designer series paper. I wanted to make this a little bit more special, just take it up a little notch without too much stress or effort. So that's what I'm going to show you today. It does fold down flat, just for posting. It's not too thick. There is a couple of layers of card there, but I think you might just get away with that. And it's sized for the UK because that's where I live. So isn't this paper just wow? Just every time I open the card, I'm like, oh, I love it. Not sure who I'm going to give that to yet, but whoever it is will love it, I'm sure. So we're going to use the Countryside Sweet papers. So I've got a few different colours to show you. There's quite a list of sizing, but don't feel overwhelmed because I will talk you through it step by step. Once you break a project down into baby steps, it all seems to make sense. And although I've put the sizes there and they're a bit long-winded, work through with me and then we can make this together. And you'll be so glad you did. It will be like, oh my goodness, I've made this. We'll have a great ta-da moment at the end. So they're the sizes. We need a base card and then basically we do all the bits on the inside. But honestly, just take a breath and we can do this. So if we make a mistake along the way, we just say that thing, there's no mistakes in crafting, and then I can't remember the rest because I'm too excited about making the card. So what am I going to use? I looked at the papers, and Stampin' Up do this really good thing where on the paper, they give you this card at the back and it lists the colours of the card that it coordinates with. So for Countryside Inn, it's Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. So then you just get your papers and you sort of sort through them, look at the colours, and I decided to make my base card in this Boho Blue, okay? It's a really lovely blue that is in the in colours for Stampin' Up this year, and it's just perfect. Although I would say that because I like a blue. So we need a card or a piece of card that is 5 7/8 by 8 2/8. So we're just going to straight away cut our piece of card at 5 7/8. Okay, you can actually get 2 base cards from an A4 sheet, so that's even more value for money. Turn it round on the long side, and we need this side to be 8 2/8. So there's a really tiny fraction that needs to come off. Really tiny. Look at that. It's hardly worth doing, but it makes a difference. Now on the same side, we are going to score it at 4 1/8. So that's exactly in half. We're going to score it and cut it just like so, and that makes our base card. Ta-da! Don't you feel good already? You've made a card. Okay, so the next bit we're going to do, should we do the bit on the front first? Yeah, let's do that. So the front of the card, on my original one, I did a white panel and then the designer series paper. So the paper that I've chosen out of the pack, and I'm really trying hard not to change my mind, is this paper with the fox. I really love it. I love the little white detail of the little flowers and the sprigs that are in the boho blue. So when I put that on there, I look at that and I think, yeah, that is really pleasing. I really like that. Now what I need to do is put a white layer behind that because I really want it to pop off of the page. So that's nice. Okay, that looks nice. It matches in, it goes well. Really like that. But if I put this on first, now I do need to check this size because I haven't trimmed these at all. These are just from my stash. So I'm just going to layer it up for now. And then this goes on the top. Can you see already? It takes it up to another level. It just frames that paper even better with the white border. So what is the white border piece that we need? So this card is 4 1/8. So if we did it 3 7/8 across, let's see what that looks like. So that's 3 7/8. Okay, let's check that. So that'll go across there. That actually looks pretty good. And looking at it, the size down also looks good. So let's see what that is. So that is 5 5/8. So that's what we're going to do. 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. And that gives us a lovely border all the way around our card. So in order to get this fitting good on top of that, we need to take it down another 1/8. So the white was 3 7/8. Oh, I'm going to cough. Oh, goodness me. I've got a tickle now that's going to keep coughing. So this will be 3 3/4. Goodness me. I'm going to drink loads of water and then I'll need to go for a wee. Oh! Okay, 3 3/4. Definitely the right size across. Yeah. And then our other piece, our white piece, was 5 5/8. So now we need 5 4/8, which is actually 5 1/2, and that's what that is. Ah, even better. There is a crafting god. So I'm going to stick that on there and stick it on the front of my card. And then the front panel, I can not think about. So let's stick the DSP. Oh, that's quite nice as well. Oh, do I want it that side? Oh, that would be really nice actually. And then the wow would be that the paper is on the other way. Oh, I think I might do that. Yeah, let's do that. Change. Okay. And then I get to show both sides of the paper as well, don't I? But I do feel bad putting glue all over this beautiful paper, hiding the foxes. Okay. It will be fine. It's all good. So that's going to go on that side. I can hear you shouting at me. No, use the fox side. It's fine. We can make another one if we're not happy with this one. Okay, so that one's there. And then that's going to go on there. And that's the front of our card done. Okay. So let's stick that on as well. Just like so. Just make sure there's a nice blue border all the way around. Just like that. Ta-da! Okay, so we're not going to do the decoration bit on the front yet. We'll leave that for the excitement at the end. So the inside, we need to do this whole panel here. So this is actually two pieces. This is a separate piece. So we're going to concentrate on this bit here first. Now, I'm going to try and do it really simply and slowly for you and myself. So I'm going to use white card because I want that to really stand out. And I need it to be 5 5/8. So 5 5/8. I'm just cutting across an A4 sheet. 5 5/8. So again, you could get two. You can make two cards at once with this. And then I'm going to turn it sideways, and I need it to be 8 inches. So 5 5/8 by 8. There. Okay. That's that. Okay. So take a breath. Oh. Okay. Here comes some score lines. So on the long side, the side that is 8 inches, we're going to do several score lines. I think probably about 5 if I remember rightly. So the first one is 1 3/4. Remember, score not cut. 1 3/4. The next one is 2 7/8. Okay, so 2 7/8. The next one is 4 inches. The next one is 5 1/8. And then 6 2/8. And that's a really awkward score because it's right on that cusp bit there. But where there's a longer line, just in that crease there, that is 6 2/8. Okay. So let me go through those with you again. So you've got 5 5/8 by 8, and then on the 8-inch side you've got 1 3/4, 2 7/8, 4, 5 1/8, and 6 2/8. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to cut the middle panel out. Now the easiest way that I've found to do this is fold your card back in half. Okay, so that's my card in half, just like that. Turn it that way so the folded bit is at the top, and at 1 1/8. Okay, so put your card at 1 1/8, which is there. And we're going to put the cutting blade from this line here, from this score line here, and cut up, okay, right to the edge of the card. Now, the scorer is out of the way, but I'm just going to hold that up with my thumb so I can bring the cutter up. And there's, on the side of the cutter, there's a line, okay, and you can see whether it's lined up with your paper or your score line. Okay, so you're probably just going to see my head in the camera. So that's about there. Okay, so when I'm happy, I then just push right up through the two pieces and have a look, and you can see, yep, it's cut. So this bit is now floating free. So 1 1/8, and then cut to the score line there. But if you start at this score line and then cut up, it's a lot easier. Okay, flip it over do exactly the same on this side. So I've got it 1 1/8. I find where my line is. I'm just going to have a little look to make sure it's in line. And then push it right up and you've got that bit there, okay? Now what you need to do is cut down here. You can do that with scissors if you want, or just use your trimmer. So you know that you did this panel here at 1 3/4. So if you line it up at 1 3/4 again, and you're going to cut from here to here, but again it's easier to cut up than it is down. So use your finger to hold it up, bring your cutter and then line up where you want it to start cutting and push it down and go up to the next bit. I think that's about right, or a little bit more, just a tiny bit. And now what should happen is this panel comes out. Ta-da! Okay, what we're going to do now, we are going to take this away and we're going to cover this in designer series paper. Now this bit that you took out, you actually don't need anymore because you're going to put a different colour in the middle and also it's going to be slightly bigger. So you can put that out the way and just concentrate on your designer series paper. Now this is the inside and it's easier to do the designer series paper while it's flat. So remember we already decided that we were going to have this paper on the inside and this paper on the front. So these pieces of paper are 1/8 of an inch smaller than this frame. So this was 1 3/4. So these are 1 5/8. So 1 5/8, and then the length was 5 5/8. So they're 5 1/2, and I just need to stick them on. So 5 1/2 by 1 5/8. Okay, so just going to stick those on either side. And like I say, it's easier to do this before you start folding and trying to glue in. Much easier when it's flat and you can see what you're doing. So that one's going to go on that side. This is really going to make this come alive when it opens. That is going to go on there, like so. So what you're left with is 1 2 3 4 panels, okay, or 4 rectangles or squares actually is what they are. So I've already cut some of this paper. Again, it's two-sided, but I know that I want this colour because I want it to stand out. And these are 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay, so I'm just having a look at these, making sure which way round I want the paper. And here, because I want them all to be going the same way. I actually don't know if I want it that way though. Let's have a look at that. That might be nicer because it looks like it looks bigger going that way. So let's turn those around. And if I put those ones that way. So just have a little bit of a play before you glue anything in place. Remember, this is your card, so you make it how you love it. Just put some glue on those. And we'll stick those down. And I've already checked the papers, all 1 inch by 1 inch. And I'm sticking it down all in the same direction. Okay, so that's there. And there's 4 of them down there. Just make sure that the top ones match the bottom. So the pattern on this, it's got like a sort of arrow, so I'm making sure that's on the bottom on this one, whereas on the bottom layer it's on the top. that's going to go that. So it really does frame the middle piece. Such beautiful papers. Which ones are your favourite in the catalogue? I picked my favourites and obviously ordered them, and then I did a paper share with some of my customers, and we got to have a look at, I picked 6 packs and then we split it between all of us, and that was really interesting because some of the papers I thought I would love I wasn't actually so keen on in the flesh, and others that I really loved, others that I didn't like, I really loved. So there's that. Okay, what do we need to do now? We need to do the panel for the middle, but what we also need to do is cut up in each of these 4 inch pieces. So before we do anything else, stick it in or anything, we're going to use our trimmer, and we are going to, so this is 1 inch across, so we are going to mark at 1 inch. We're going to cut, what can I do it with so you can see? So where this cutting line is, we're going to cut here. I'm going to use my paper as a guide, so where that flower is, I'm going to cut from there down, and the same down the bottom. So I'm going to use my finger to hold the trimmer up until I've got it in the place that I want it. Okay, and then lift it up again. Okay, let me show you that. So you end up with that cut there and there, but just only, not even halfway, but if you went to halfway that would be fine. And then you're going to do the same on the next one. Okay, so that is about halfway, and I'm going to cut it again, down, and then cut up there. So that's got a cut line as well. Okay, and then repeat it 2 more times. That one, and then this one. So all I'm doing is just trying to make sure that it's in the middle. Just using my paper trimmer to check where 1 inch is, so it's ½ inch either side, and then that's where I cut. So I'm looking at this square here, I'm lining it up there, and then cutting in the middle, just halfway down each piece. Okay, so that's that bit prepared. Now I need to bring my card back in, and I'm going to stick this in. So what happens is, this bit goes like that. Okay, so that's going to be stuck on there. And then that bit is going to be like that, like so. And then that bit is like that. And then this bit is like that. And then this bit is back like that. So let me show you how that works. So you've got like 2 mountains here. Okay, and these are just flat. Now, how am I going to stick this on? So I'm going to put some glue on the back of this, and then I'm going to place it in so there's a bit of a frame of the boho blue all the way around. So I'm just putting glue on this bit here. So just on that panel, I'm going to flip it back over. Make sure it's roughly central, okay, because it is a handmade card, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but that's going there. Okay, so that bit's just, that panel's stuck down. I'm going to bring these over to here, and using the folds I've already established, I'm going to put some glue on this panel, just like this. and I'm going to bring this side of the card to it. So I'm just going to hold it like that, bring it like that, and just press it down, and then open it up and see if it's lined up here, because there's still a bit of wiggle room. But that is my card done. Okay, so that's my inside bit done. Now we're going to concentrate on the panel. So I really wanted a contrast on mine. On this one I just did white again, but on my one that I'm doing with you guys, I just want a nice colour to contrast it. So the size of this piece, the panel insert, is 4.5 by 4. Okay, so I've already cut that 4.5. And then on the 4.5 inch side, so make sure that 4.5 is at the top, just along there, and you're going to do some scoring because you need to make the panels. So the first one is 1 1/8, so I'm going to do it on this side and then flip it round just because I can hold on to this. So 1 1/8, and you're scoring, not cutting. So there's 1 1/8, flip it round so I can hold on to it. 2 2/8. Okay, so that is there, 2 2/8. And then the third one is 3 3/8. And that gives us our panel. Okay, so you've got 4 different pieces there. Now I've already prepared my DSP. All I've done is cut some panels that are 1 inch by 3 7/8, so they just fit really nicely in there. The other thing that I've done, I've taken my Stampin' Right marker, because this is designer series paper, it's got a white core. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got white running through the middle. So when I put that against there, sometimes it can look quite tatty because it's got a white core, so especially if it's on a dark card. So what I tend to do is go along it with a Stampin' Right marker or anything that you've got that's a similar colour, and just colour in the edges, and it just finishes it off. I think I did all of these ones already, yeah. So it just finishes that off. And now I'm just going to put those on here. So I don't think it matters what order they're in. I'm really excited to see what this looks like, because I really wasn't sure if it was going to be as nice in the blue, but I think it is. Who am I kidding? I knew it would be nice in the blue. Blue's my favourite. Okay, that one's going to go on there. Actually not sure about this, blue on blue. Don't think it stands out enough, but we'll see. Maybe I should have done it white, it would have stood out, or maybe the boho blue, that would have been a nice, or maybe balmy blue, because balmy blue is in there as well. Maybe I should have done that. Might have to change it. Let's see what it looks like. See what we think when we do our ta-da moment. Okay, so they just go on there, they're just stuck down. And then what we need to do is the little mechanism, so this bit, okay? So that actually is going to go like that. So it's got the mountain in the middle. And I'm going to use a piece of card. Now I think I've cut this, but let's have a look. So I've just got a scrap bit of card that's 3 inches long, and it's, oh, what is it? Shall I do it at half, and then that keeps it simple for everybody? Or what is it? It's 3/4. Okay, 3/4 by 3 inches. And then I'm going to score it at a half and 1 inch on both ends. So a half and then 1 inch on both ends. Okay. So you end up with this. So you're going to fold that round like that and fold it round like so. Okay, so we are going to put a bit of glue on both of those bits. So I'll unfold it so you can see. Hang on. So I've put some glue so it looks like that. Okay, and the bits that are these tabby bits, I've put some glue on, and they are going to go around here where I think the middle is. Oh, I just need to push that back a bit. So you end up with that. Okay, so you've got your flat piece at the front. You can see there's a bit of a triangle, and then the tab is there and there. So when you bring that out, you can see that that's floating. Okay, so let's try and put this in. Now this isn't so easy. So pat yourself on the back for all the bits you've done already. Take a deep breath, get a drink of water, anything, and then come back to it when you're nice and calm. And what you're going to do is slot it in like this. You just sort of push it into the slots on one end, like so, like that. See, that side's easy. This side's not so easy. So now we're doing it this end. So that one goes there. That one goes there. This one is not playing ball. That one goes in there. And this one goes there. Have we done it? Oh, oh. Oh, go on, you want it. Ta-da! Look, we did it. Okay, so just move it along a bit so it's central till you're happy with it. Okay, now I've decorated my card like this, and we're just going to do the sentiment on there, but you could have it that it opens like that. Okay, and you could put your sentiments going across. Now I'm just going to check that it all folds down flat before I do anything else. Just give it a little bit of a help. Say yes, look at that. Woo! Okay, so now what else do we need to do? We need to do the decoration. So I've got a few different bits. I've got this for the front. I've got a little bit of ribbon that's boho blue, and I've got some of these different sentiments. I'm going to do the stamping first. So I am going to use this stamp for the inside. That is hope your day is filled with everything good. And I'm going to use Night of Navy. Okay, really juicy Night of Navy, so I'm just going to tap it twice. Have a look. It looks okay. I can never just tap it twice. I'm like, oh, has it got enough ink on? Okay, let's hope this is straight. La la la. Okay, very happy with that. And then on the front, what did I put on the other one? You're the best. Yeah, that's lovely. You are the best. Okay, let's put that on there and put some ink. Shall I just try tapping it twice? Did you see I sneaked in a third tap? Okay, so that's going to go there. Done. Okay, now that needs to layer on there, so I need some dimensionals. Where did I knew I'd got them somewhere. So this is just going to go on the back of here, and it doesn't really need many because it's got no weight. So that's going to go on there. Like so. I love how this layers up. Look at that. Just make sure the kisses are in line. That's lovely. Now with these pieces, how many have I got? 3. So I was trying to work out what's the best way to do these, because I was going to do them all in one one side, but then I thought, no, it's quite nice if they're half and half. So I am literally just going to cut them in half, and then we can work on what it looks like. And this one, let's go there. So we're going to have this one as the back one, then we're going to have the white one, and then we're going to have the blue. So I'm going to build them up from the back. So I've cut them in half. I'm putting that one on there. I'm going to put a white bit next to it, and I'm just not going over the edge that's already there, just sticking it straight on top. Okay, I do want that a little bit closer, or do I want it? Is it this one I want? Oh, I don't know. Let's do this one because I feel like that. No, I need it to overlap a bit. So I'm going to cut a bit of that off. And I'm going to do it along here a bit. So you do see the white. Okay, so that again, I'm just matching up the panel. Okay, so that. And now what I'm going to do is put blue along the whole thing. And I'm going to match up the edge there to there. Look at that. How cool is that? And no mess. You can't see that on the back. Okay, now let's do the bottom bit. So we had the blue bit first. Let's straighten that up so we've got a nice straight edge to work from. So that's going to go there. And then we had white. So white bit is going to go there. Put some glue along that bit. And I think that can go about there. And then the blue. Oh, the blue's going to be a little bit tricky. Shall we just cut some of that off? So we've still got something to glue. And I'll put it on there instead. And then work out where I want it. So maybe there. Okay. And then I'm going to do oh no, that's going to be half hidden, isn't it? Let's put it that way round instead. Oh. Yeah, let's do it that way round. So then this bit is going to be hidden. And I'm going to match it up there, like so. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Okay, now ribbon. So the best thing to do with the ribbon, because I don't want to be tying any bows, turn it over and I put some double-sided tape on the back. Probably put too much actually, but I can fold it in on itself. I'm getting excited now. I can't wait to see what it looks like all together. Okay, so that bit's just really, really sticky. So now I am just gonna fold it back and forth. So that's gonna go like that. That's gonna go like that. No tying needed. Put that one back there. Cut it off at an angle. Cut this one off at an angle. Oh, look at that. Okay, so now I think I'm going to put some more double-sided tape because I really want it to stick down just over the top of that, and just peel that off like so. Fold that back. Oh, look at this. Ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's put this bit on as well. So I'm going to put some glue on here. And then I'm just going to place that on, okay, where I think it should be. Just about there. Just make sure it's in the middle. Press it down somewhat. Look at that. Ooh, we need a ta-da moment, don't we? Hang on, let's move all this stuff. So let's fold it up. Okay, here's our make for today. You are the best. Oh, what a lovely card. Ta-da! Look at that. It's gorgeous. Okay, which one do you like best? They're both amazing. I hope you've enjoyed this make. I hope you give it a go. I would love to see what you make. Please do share photos of me. Let me know what you think about the videos, and if you'd like to buy some of the products, then of course go to my website at createdtheottaway.co.uk. If you love my videos, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.